So map 2 may not have been what anybody expected, but TeamOne keep the dream alive. They are taking it to FURIA on their own map pick, and now we move on to Nuke. Vince, Train looked like such a one-sided affair, and I think that the openness that allowed for aggression on both halves of that Mirage map was a key piece to the success of TeamOne, alongside more than just Barton showing up to play. So will they be able to maintain that style that just very clearly worked on Mirage here on Nuke? I have my doubts, but they may have the answers.
They may very well have the answers. And you know, Scrawny, after that performance on Mirage, I actually think TeamOne have a solid chance of winning this game. This is not a map that FURIA are necessarily super powerful on. And if Molbs continues to land shots like he did in that last map, this is going to be a very tough ask. They're already going to be vent diving as well. A player up on top of the hut is Vinny, not anticipating that they'd be waiting for him in Squeaky. So a post plant, and TeamOne have multiple players still alive, still kicking for a little bit longer. Art putting bullets down range, doing significant damage to the bomb planter, and then finally finishing off Barton. But Maluk and Pessa haven't really shown their hand too much just yet, but the bomb is being defused. It's all down to Maluk, and his head gets removed from Yuri. Much better from FURIA. And they are going to pick up the first round, but aggression again. This has been such a fun map, and a fun match, I should say, to cast so far.
Yeah, aggression out the gate from the pistol. But, you know, it looked more to me like they were fixated on the bomb plant and getting that at least, as opposed to winning the round. We've seen them come into the second rounds of maps with having lost pistol and 3 AKs. They decide not to go for the full buy this time, instead a little curb purchase. But I feel like T-side Nuke, just get that bomb down first and foremost, get the economy kick-started, and then maybe the rounds start rolling. So very quick answer back by FURIA. Hot on the heels of the vent drop, even with Vinny going into Squeaky and dying with the dual Berettas. But I like this. TeamOne, they're just going to set up shop outside of the Squeaky. Molotov on top of Hut will force Vinny's feet away and expect him to be there. That's a consistency in FURIA's CT side. They're kind of desperate to get that bomb down. Vent, Yuri's going to sit on the ladder. Aha, but he made a little sound, so Pesa's now looking to hone in on him. Pesa actually has a lot of information. He is not where he should be. Access denied. But Maluk, he arrives on ramp in time to get at least 1 kill here. Goes ahead and finds his hands on an M4A4. How much more damage can he do? Damage really the name of the game. Hide the M4. Oh, you gotta hide the M4. That's like a child cleaning its room. I'll just shove it in the corner. Mom won't do. They're very easily going to pick up that rifle. If anybody can even get over here, but it looks like not. Okay. Successful endeavor. FURIA, they take their second round. TeamOne, minimal, result in the end of it. But, ooh, I like this. Oh, I like this, Vince. A nice early pause.
They're in that strange threshold, aren't they, of do we feasibly go for this buy, or do we go for a half buy? If they do go for a full purchase, they're looking at least 2 Galils. Potentially 3 if Molbs wants to go for extra utility.
Mac
so this
10s
is
maybe?
An awkward position.
Yeah, I'm thinking the options. The 2 Galils is if they go for the full rifles. Maybe Mac 10s and a fast hit, thinking that there are still SMGs in play for FURIA, which they would be right. It'd be a very similar buy, in fact. Let's see. It starts to trickle in. It's been calculated. They crunched the numbers, Vince. Not that bad.
Yeah, they have plenty of utility here for either side. They can get some outside control. They can play aggressive and mobile with Barton. So leaving themselves plenty of options. Understandable timeout. They were in a very awkward position. PRT spraying up. Gonna take a bunch of damage, down to 45. And Pesa, aggression straight away through on Squeaky, yields 2 kills. Barton gets the second. There's a slight gap in the smoke, and they're going to make the most of it, FURIA. But they need to be careful. If that Molotov extends, it's going to kill both of them.
Oh my
God! They both hold the line. Big grenade comes in, takes the life of Art, shredding Yuri in the process, and there's Henny. Death from above, 3-0. But Scrawny, that was so close to going the way of TeamOne.
That's insanity. I mean, again, I want to just draw that parallel. We talked about the aggression. The aggression. It's been across all of the maps. It didn't work out on Train for TeamOne, and they're trying to use the same flavor of CS here on Nuke. It nearly worked. They get that double entry easily on the A site, but it's the two players in Mini who have some kind of savior up above. They may have been protected by the hand of God, I swear, man. How is Art alive in that situation? He's standing in a molly with a teammate on top of him, and still they cut it back. And this round with just pistols, it's nothing but a success story. A Cinderella tale for FURIA, because they get to keep 5 players up, now on full rifles, and that was the worrisome situation that TeamOne had to contemplate when they went in with that lackluster Galil buy. They knew that if they lost that one and didn't do damage, that this economy for FURIA is going to start ramping up to a frightening degree. I love it. Do not let this game slip away from you. You are in control after that showing on Mirage. You've got FURIA flustered, but they're starting to get comfortable on a very hard to break defensive half. You're coming back in with another buy. You've got everything you can think of. No sniper in the equation, but the same can be said for FURIA. Half of their pause is gone in the first 5 rounds of the game. They want to break through early. They think they need to, and I think they need to too.
100% agree. Cool. Oh, a technical issue behind the tactical, unfortunately. So we'll have a bit of time to discuss what's happened. But I 100% agree with you. You know, after having such a miraculous performance on Mirage, the likes of Mobs really shredding with Barton, who's had a great series. Yeah. At the end of the day, you look at their overall kills, it's 5. They have 5 kills collectively, and we're going into the 5th round. There is a distinct lack of firepower that is connecting right now for one. So they need to figure out where to go next. Here's the other part of the issue. FURIA typically run at least 1 AWP on Nuke, and sometimes 2 on CT side. And Art is actually phenomenally strong with the AWP on this map. Watch for peeks into Squeaky. He loves to go aggressively into Squeaky with the AWP. That has yet to be seen because they haven't needed an AWP. Because they've lost so few players, all they've done is pick up the AKs from the DTs, keep the M4s, and they have an AUG in play. So once finally TeamOne gets some kills or win a round, Art or Henny, or potentially both, going to pick up an AWP, and then things get that little bit more scary. But on the other side, to play devil's advocate here, Scrawny, because of how aggressive TeamOne were on Mirage, I wonder if that will play some mind games with FURIA, and they won't go as aggressive with the AWPs, anticipating they could just get rushed down and fragged in the process. The very interesting twists and turns building up in the storyline of this game.
And it's all still so early. That, to me, is the most exciting part of it, Vince. We don't know what's in store yet on Nuke. We've had the 5-0 starts for each team. We've had those sprees of rounds happen across both Train and Mirage. Mirage ends up in a back-and-forth affair towards the middle portion of the map, but early on, it did not seem like that. So I'm looking at this 4-0 start. I'm looking at the fact that TeamOne are still empty-handed and at certain moments have had just very little kills even across these opening rounds. And I'm not stressed just yet because I'm thinking of that first rifle round where Art somehow miraculously stays alive inside of Mini with his teammate. That so easily could have fallen the way of TeamOne. And from there, the domino effect. Maybe they capitalize with another couple. I'll be jumping back into the game very shortly. Don't you guys worry. You know, if DreamHack keeps up these virtual stages, I've got some improvements we can make. I want the players behind the computers, Vince. That's a big one. And then maybe we could superimpose their faces onto those avatars. What if there was a me and you back there behind the stage? Maybe there is, and we just haven't showed it off yet. Maybe we're waiting for the grand finals in a few days.
I need a Scrawny virtual reality character dancing rather than that CT one, you know? I need to see some of those slick moves. We were talking before that you were probably a salsa dancer in another lifetime. I could completely agree and see that being the case. But here we go.
Instructor. Thank you.
Instructor, sorry, my bad.
Let's rock and roll, baby. We're back into the action. Thank you guys for your patience. Issue solved. Well, at least the issue of the tech pause, the issue of TeamOne trailing by 4 and still having a goose egg on the scoreboard is a problem they'll have to deal with. But they get PRT back behind Mini first. He's got more than just one opponent ahead of him. Nice wallbang damage from Mulbs through Hut onto Art and Mini. We saw Henny going for the lobby wallbangs from Ramp Room. And that is one of the things that forced TeamOne into the A bomb site. Kind of like a trigger. Vinny, always standing up here. Constantly a threat on top of the Hut roof. We've already seen Molotovs come in and counter his position, but look at this. They're going to immediately try and rock this one back towards Ramp. Art, he's got the AUG in position, cuts down the first 2 players, bomb down into the open as well. This is looking easy for Art, but he tries to get Pesa, who's having none of that, and grabs that bomb to now immediately shift attention elsewhere.
That's a great Molotov, but be careful what you wish for. It forces Serato back against the wall. Underarm nade nearly takes down Pacer. If he'd taken another pace forward, he would have been put down. But instead, he's hopping on top of the Hut. Time starting to dwindle away. The sands of time wait for no man. And Pacer will realize that his situation is pretty dire as it stands. He's going to be coming out, going for that full-on plant, knows he's going to die afterwards, but actually just gets wall-banged. Because of the damage that he took earlier on, only a couple bullets through the wall was required. Bomb denied. Great hold from Art, though. I feel like the AUG is still very viable, but only situationally in certain positions, such as Ramp. And you saw there firsthand that Art, perfect crosshair placement, perfect spray control. 5-0 for FURIA, the perfect start.
So far, so good. Molly pops on Hut. Early damage. It's really tough for TeamOne to find their openings here. The utility on Nuke can just completely make you come to a grinding halt. Again, as opposed to Mirage, like think about what CTs can throw smokes in mid. Terrorists can play around that. Here on Nuke, it's a whole different game. And it's a game that I think FURIA are more comfortable with. I'm not calling TeamOne one-dimensional, but I think that their biggest strength is the ability to get aggressive. Oh, nice. Barton with a deagle headshot into Henny, who is just looking to play patiently on back ramp. A second from Barton. Here he is. The man that rocked the world on Train and then gave us a second showing on Mirage is looking to be the solution here. He's gotten the AUG and the AWP into the hands of his teammates. Where do they go from here? So many options open.
So be nerve-wracking start here, Scrawny, to this round.
The 5-0 start that we also got on Mirage. Looking to happen again here. Barton, he's gotten himself a third. Is he legitimately going to pull an ace out of the hat?
Oh my god, the damage from Vinny through the wall is ridiculous. He may not live to tell the tale. But unbeknownst to him, he's tagged all 3 players through smokes, through walls. He'll have no idea how winnable this round actually is. And understandably, he dips out and gives up this round. He's got the AK. So he wants to hold on to that, especially with the economy being fairly low on a couple players. But Scrawny, TeamOne, excellent work from Barton in particular to get those 2 1-digs. That is outrageous. I feel so bad for Vinny though, man.
But it's okay, because you know he's still smiling.
Always.
It's okay, guys. I did damage. It's okay. Like, he's such a happy-go-lucky guy. That's a great energy to have. We should all be a bit more like Vinny. Hell, we should all be a bit more like Barton. Damn those deadly Eagles. So that's how they break through. The 5-0 start made it look like TeamOne were just too far behind, but they remind us that even with the smallest of weapons, they can go big. However, Henny posted a bit more aggressively, and Maluk takes that sniper, of which he saved, and gives it right back into the hands of the CT. Now FURIA, oh, they're mad. They're upset about the last one, and they have just whooped 3 of the members of Team One. Pesa and Malbs, all that's left over.
That's always the risk, though, isn't it, Scrawny? Because you look at that last round, sure, it's some slick deeds, some beautiful Counter-Strike, but it wasn't tactical genius. They didn't outplay Furia in terms of out-navigating them or forcing them into an awkward position. It was just Barton running around the corner, landing crazy 1Ds. That's not something that you can put into play round in, round out, and you can base an entire half off. And Furia, it's one of those situations where you go, fair enough, Barton's just better in that round. You know, we can't really look into it that much. We'll just rinse and repeat. We've been winning rounds against rifles, no issue at all. We'll go back to what's been working for them. Pesa about to walk into a trap, but it's actually Art that gets snapped. And he will get wall banged in the head, but Pesa down to 2 HP. The economy's not ideal. If they save these 2 weapons, they'll be able to buy, and they don't have much time in which to get onto this side, so they are going to tap out. But my concern here, Scrawny, is the main man, Malbs. He is yet to get off the mark, and we're moving into our 8th round, and he was so instrumental on that Mirage performance. I am a little bit concerned for him.
I am as concerned as you are, but I am also a firm believer in that the first one's always the hardest. It's a matter of breaking through, getting that kill, and starting to move forward. But he also has only 7 ADR, so while he's down, let's kick him.
And he has 1 assist as well, Scrawny, which means that basically he got all of his ADR in 1 round. That would suggest he's done 0 damage in at least 5 rounds this half.
Okay, Vince, don't kick him that hard. Jesus. He still has a family, man.
I still believe he can pull this back. He's
for sure
more than good enough.
Yeah. I mean, again, don't forget, there was a slow start on Mirage as well.
Right.
Again, I mean, just across the series, we've had the lopsided starts, and then the middle ground gets murky. Art, that is audacious. He's just running around the red box, taking all the fights he possibly can, and it does come at a cost. He dies alongside Yuri, each of them with 1 kill apiece, and then Vinny, he's the one that gets the edge back to the favor of Furia, but PRT right back there for him, and then Henny trades it. Pesa, simultaneous frag elsewhere. It's the op in Henny, and he tries to jump across. He made that same error. No. That was PRT, not Pesa. I'm not going to punish him for it. But again, another moment where you just have Team One making... if you could go back 5 seconds, I guarantee you Pesa never jumps that again. Like, why are you giving him the chance? You have lobby control. You've got 45 seconds. You could just wait, make Henny feel uncomfortable. Instead, he tries to jump across, hoping that Henny won't hit that first shot. But if you're just hoping your opponent will miss, you're not taking the ball in your own control. You're letting them put it down in the basket.
Very well put. And that is kind of how Team One feels on this T side. They're hoping that Furia make mistakes more so than them make big plays, but they're now going to take control. They're going to dictate the pace of this round. Molotov down into vents, solidly done. Allows them a little bit more luxury, a little bit more safety in endeavoring onto this A side. Henny watching ramp, being cognizant of the fact it could be getting pushed in, but now realizing that won't be the case. The bomb has been successfully planted on A. One of the few bits of success that Team One can celebrate of this half, but the celebrating can't come just yet. Malbs gets his first and his second of the map in the same round, and Pacer is standing tall alongside him. Henny doesn't want any part of this fight. He's looking to save, which will give Team One their second round. So they're at least going in the right direction. It seems like Henny will be able to hold on to his AWP. The economy's not in place for Team One to sacrifice these 2 players in which to take it away from Henny. But the economy of Furia, not exactly great either. So Team One, even though it's 7-2, they are on the cusp of potentially bringing this back to a much closer scoreline.
Absolutely. First one's the hardest. That's what I said. He doubles up into the round on its own. Malbs is on the scoreboard. And I think that works well for Team One. They take their 3rd pause 9 rounds deep. Again, I think because they know of this chance, right? You just alluded to the lackluster money situation there for Furia. And you can see the result. I mean, they're coming in with just pistols. If Team One wins this round, they're only trailing by 4. They already have 3 rounds on a T side, and they have many more chances to still improve that. There's a world, maybe not far from our own, where Team One finished this half 8-7. It's not a probability, but it's a possibility. And you take that chance. FURIA, they're going to make the most of this pause called by their opponent, of course, and calculate what they can get. There's nice bits of utility here. Anticipate Vinny dropping that molly to try and stop some sort of early aggression, but I think that means his nades, they get drained early on.
Oh, he nearly landed that shot as well. Gets it on the second time. There's another player down there. This aggression has got 2 kills. How has Barton survived that? I was sure he would get countered as soon as he got the pick onto Art. And this hyper-aggressive round seems like it's going to pay out in spades. TeamOne taking damage from that grenade, but it's the healthiest of PRT that takes it. And so he's okay to absorb that shock. Deagle misses out on Barton. I cannot believe Barton survived this round.
Incredible. They dropped 2 players off of the top of Silo into me. I mean, incredible that Barton can slip through with those 2 kills versus Art and the second player on Mini, clearly just kind of dropping in on them when they were not ready for it. Just a super hot engagement. But Art, you are running through red box smokes with an AWP. The possibility of there being a player at the base of Silo at an all-time high, and he's using it like a shotgun. Now he's just holding hands with them inside of the smoke, trying to chase down Vent. They have so little to work with, and a crucial Molotov keeps him off their back. There is still a defense inside of this bomb site, but let's be real, it's a P250 on Art, and he gets tapped by PRT. Quesarado inside smoke hopes that they walk in on this. There's still a world where FURIA can put some hurt on their opponents, but they waited for Mulbs to get into position, and he makes mincemeat of that B hold. We have TeamOne with 4 rounds on the board, and the cash for FURIA still being collected. Again, the T sides are where I look to see TeamOne succeed. They don't know what's in store for them once FURIA get on the offense. If Art is running at the base of Silo with an AWP on CT side, you better get ready for whatever he has in store second half.
Oh, Vinny. Is he actually going to get that kill on pace? They're so close. He got really unfortunate, by the way. Absolutely wrecked by the double doors. He tried to pick up an AK-47 and the double doors pushed it away as he opened.
Nope.
Yep, straight up denied. Yuri? You can see Barton was spinning around like, where the hell am I getting shot from? Just getting slowly chunked. The grenade. Sorry, not the grenade. It did come through the air. It was an AK-47 that he tried to catch and save, but he gets denied. But as you completely correctly pointed out, it's 7-4 and TeamOne in a position where, again, FURIA are lacking a little bit on the firepower front. Art having a great game. He's not going to be able to use the AWP, and that is a significant blow for FURIA.
Very exciting. Double grenades over towards Mini. It's Yuri, who has to be cautious to not walk into the scope of the AWP. Smoke should counter Maluk, who just puts a warning shot over the bow. Follow-up smoke as well here. TeamOne in such a tantalizing position. But Henny, he gets aggressive. He was pretty aggressive at the start of the map over here towards the ramp room, and he does this on his own. You know, you've got Art kind of floating around towards hell, but Henny's really the front runner. Looks like TeamOne are going to change their sights and try and cross towards Secret. They used that vent drop last round to get into the B bomb site. Now they'll use the tunnels. Maluk could linger a bit longer than his teammates if he chooses to, hoping that maybe somebody tries to chase them. Think of the way Art was so hot on their heels just last round. Well, the possibility's there and they know it. TeamOne, shoulder to shoulder with 3 players, walking and waiting and holding and hoping that, again, they are given something, because it's still the man disadvantage. And for all they know, there's 3 players for FURIA stacked up on this B bomb site. And in fact, that's almost the case. Henny, he gets 1 and PRT trades.
20 seconds. Time of the essence. They've got to get in on this side. They've got to get kills, and they've stumbled on both of those fronts. PRT, 19 HP, looking to raise the site. But the only thing raising is FURIA's overall score. They go to 8-4, and TeamOne, they have enough economy to go for a buy, but they do have to deal with the fact that FURIA are back into winning ways one more time. And some AKs have traded hands as an AWP also picked up. FURIA looking strong again.
Drops through vent immediately. This makes things interesting. You've got a player behind enemy lines, and FURIA may not know yet. We'll have to see how they shift their defense. They're throwing Yuri down the ramp room right now. He's trying to figure out where Pesa's got off to. There's two players here hunting Pesa. Smoke in the face of Henny, but a shot between the eyes first and foremost. Malbs, he looks to find the most in this timing, creeping out from ramp. There's a world where he can wrap hell into heaven with a lobby crunch, and that could be big because Vinny's back should be open. They have two players still stranded down on B. That's exactly what's going to happen. Sure, they got the kill and they dealt with Pesa, but it opened up a bit of timing where Malbs can absolutely go huge, but K-Serrato, through his shoes, keeps him honest in heaven, gives him his wings, and he never has a chance to swoop downwards. Bombs confirmed and dropped, and it all falls apart. FURIA finding a 9.
Just as you thought that TeamOne were mounting a renaissance, something special. Again, the level is just upped. Great communication. As you said, there was that window of opportunity for Malbs to get some action done from heaven, but K-Serrato knew that, and he was in prime position to skewer him from the foot to the head with an M4A4 round. Speaking of which, though, Maluk, he's going to put that deagle to use. Art will play no further part in this round. 15 frags to his name. Yuri's getting pushed. It's raining men. And Bart,
hallelujah,
he takes it out. Good shot from Vinny. 3 more players outside. Another 1 deek. TeamOne in one of the roughest buys of their entire half, on the brink of making it work.
They've won rounds like this. Oh, and he's going to get dinked. That should be another player down. Okay, unorthodox, but it works. Flying around the corners of Mini, Maluk kicked it off with that Deeg headshot. K-Serrato could still clutch this. He's gotten down into position in time. They may not expect the doors to fly open. The bomb planter just in the smallest piece of cover naded his feet. There goes his HP. PRT on 35. K-Serrato's going to drop the smoke, use the flash to push past, and he's just looking for a smidgen of an angle. A couple shoulder shots would do the trick to the player on site, or does he drop the opper first and foremost? PRT, relying on his teammate, sweeps out at the perfect moment, and TeamOne rob another round. Again, we have to ask ourselves, is 5 rounds enough on the T side of Nuke? It has not been convincing, but it could be just what they need. The CT side now not far away. And clearly you can't write them off in rounds they have no business winning. So what if they get the edge of the CT side? They're going to have another full buy round to close this half on. And we know how the first half ended on Mirage. Absolute fireworks. So don't go away just yet.
On Mirage, they were able to play aggressively on the CT side. You can play aggressive on CT side Nuke, but it is susceptible to being countered very easily.
Sure.
So I do worry for TeamOne. I'm completely alongside with you on this, right, Scrawny, that 5 rounds does give you a little bit to work with. They desperately want this 6th, of course. But on that CT side, I need to see not just the aggression, but I need to see discipline. I need to see some strategical elements from TeamOne, and Henny goes for the aggression. One of the few angles he can feasibly go for. He does get punished. If he has an M4, if he has an assault rifle, he can probably get 2 or 3, but the AWP does make him vulnerable, hence TeamOne's aggression. They wanted to make sure at the least it's a 1-for-1 trade. Damage has been inflicted to Pesa, and it's a double AWP setup on the T side as they take Henny's AWP and try and use it against the CTs, pardon me. I do worry a little bit about this, though, because it makes them that little bit less mobile. And then moving into K-Serrato, nearly sprays Pesa down, survives on 5 HP, but there's 30 seconds to go, Scrawny, and the bomb's been dropped. Oh, that should be the round.
That's that right there. The double sniper setup comes back to bite them. You saw Pesa in Hell have his barrel shown and gets tagged up by Quesarado, and then the other oppers trying to entry out hut. Join us after the break, because TeamOne's not done just yet.
Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down, down. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Fly in the visual, high in the spiritual. Life can't get rid of you. This what I'm gonna do. Kick off my shoes, get in the mood, get on down, get in the groove. I feel alive, I can't hide it. Look in my eyes, I feel excited. I got the Midas touch, and I'm the brightest. I'm gonna try my luck. Are you ready to roll? I'm getting on they last, I'm steady on go. I'm all up in the back, I'm heavy a pro. I take them all to class, I pit on the show. I do it with pizzazz, I polish my own crown. They know I'm in my bag, I body them on down. I'm who they can't pass, I handle my all frowns. They cameras off flash like this is my song now. Yeah. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down, down. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me do my thing. I get out of control, I take off like a plane. I groove, check the moves, I rock out with a bang. I do just what I do at the top of my game. Top of my game, lots pit to shame. Come deal with the crew, I stop them in a lane. Who's worried about who? I drop them with a flame. They coming for round two, like watch me entertain, yeah. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down, down. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Bust another move, hello, bust another move, down. Get on down, down. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my other move. Get on down, bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down. Bust another move, get on down, down. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my cool. Watch me groove, I move, I get so loose, I lose my
TeamOne are not in control of the situation, but they absolutely could have been worse for wear. 2 of these 5 rounds come by way of pistol upset, and that means that they have fight in them regardless of the situation. Apply that to the second pistol, and you can imagine a world where this CT side starts strong, but they are going to have to prove it. They are going to have to conclude and complete the comeback. Pesa is going to get the one and done as FURIA fight valiantly for Vent, and they will get their route open to the B site. A mirrored pistol round to what kicked off this map on Nuke. And Maluk should be empty-handed. He tries for the kill through the smoke, but it just doesn't quite happen. And now that bomb's gone down.
Bullets are going to keep the teams at bay, though. Stuck on the back of Silo. Art comes out with his Glock, looking for a second. Slight gap in that smoke, and he pierces straight through the smoke, straight through PRT's head. But Maluk is still standing. It's not a one-dimensional retake positionally for the T's. They had players on both doors. And Quesarado is going to close the chapter of the second pistol. 11-5 lead for FURIA, and one of the key rounds that we were both looking at to see what TeamOne had in store has gone begging. They are unable to attain it.
And now things get real rough. Again, everything I said before that pistol went live about them being able to resurrect themselves, etc., still applies to this situation. It's just harder. It's not impossible, as Maluk may prove. First bullet shot, first headshot connects, but then Vinny follows right back with an entry off the Galil. course, at the end of the day, TeamOne, they can forfeit over outer control. They just need to sit pretty on their bomb sites. FURIA are going to make that difficult here. Compromising Heaven would be huge. Excellent headshot from Malb. He finds the timing out the hell door, and now instead of giving them an additional fight, he decides to wrap back around towards lobby. Art's trying to give chase to this, and Malb, he better not let his guard down. But they could push into lobby, possibly trying to find another kill here, because it is the man advantage. Malbs walks back. They're not ready. He hits another headshot, and Art, well, he was closer in the corner, so there is a trade frag. But even then, Malbs does half the health gone. Art on 52, K-Serrato 100, and these T's aren't together as TeamOne go shoulder to shoulder inside of Hut with a Mag 7 and a Deeg.
They're splitting it up, though. K-Serrato is going to pincer in while Art plays from Heaven. They do have control of the bomb. Art's going to go in first. It's whether they check Hut. Now, they must realize this is a possibility. And the two Hut players staying in position. Art drops the bomb so he can maintain the upper ground advantage. Some damage inflicted. Wide swinging, spotting multiple players, pushing his situation. Is still standing, still alive somehow. But he's run out of ammunition, which is going to put more pressure on K-Serrato. But pressure means nothing to this man. And FURIA dig themselves out that ditch that was getting deeper and deeper. TeamOne will be disappointed because that was winnable, Scrawny.
Oh, hell yeah, it was. Awesome play there. I gotta say, the double up into Hut, I think everybody still alive in that situation knew there was players in Hut. It was just a question of how do they get out of there being held in by Heaven. But dude, quick feet, slides out the Hut door and almost pressures the player on the bomb site. The man in Mini could have gotten the Heaven kill. We saw that Heaven cover have to just resort to the USP. K-Serrato gets the Galil out once his hands are freed off bomb and finishes the job. Now it's a wild spray down. Art with the three-piece, Yuri finishing the full house. And it's FURIA feeling themselves because they lead by 8. They have full momentum on this T side. And TeamOne trailing by a gap and a half, but they have a bye. If ever there's a time to turn this around, it could happen now. This series has not been very streaky in that there weren't many sprees of rounds in the mid-game moments, but a back and forth affair more often than not. This has to be near flawless if TeamOne will claw all the way back into contention here on Nuke. Early damage done. Art, he takes the boost. He's looking to find someone, and he does. Barton on top of the silo. That's a huge scalp to take, and FURIA, with blood in the water, just look to absolutely pounce. Pesa and PRT with a kill apiece, and still a position up in Heaven. A great grenade does damage onto 2, but it's a 3v3 regardless.
Smoke down onto Heaven. Gonna make Pace's position that little bit more untenable for the next little while, and he needs his teammates to come in. Malbs, who's had a slow game. Now would be a great time to step up, and step up he does. Onto the throat of K-Serrato, and Vinny goes down instantly afterwards. Excellent work. Bomb dropped in an awkward position. Maybe Yuri can suppress Malbs for the time being. I think Maluk just dropped down and took damage there elsewhere. Down to 40 HP, a little bit awkward. May not end up mattering a great deal, though. But Yuri goes back in. Still doesn't have control of the bomb, but sprays into Pesa. Now, they know that Malbs was last spotted around the Hut area, so Yuri must realize that there is a distinct possibility that he's going to be around Trophy Room or back in lobby again. So he should be doing his due diligence and checking these angles on his way in, but he's unable to get the kills just yet. 20 seconds. He snaked his way through the middle. He snuck his way in here. If he can get that quick peek onto vents, he's got a chance, but instead he goes down to B side. This is such a great read from Yuri.
Yuri with a bulbous brain gets that B site. Oh no, he doesn't plant. He comes off, and that's enough. Oh, they just call his bluff. Oh, that is wild. A single survivor in the form of Maluk, but excellently done by Yuri. I mean, that's like a squirrel crossing the road, man. He just dipped and dodged and didn't even realize that he went between the wheels of the oncoming traffic. The fact that Yuri just walks through lobby and isn't checked by Trophy Room, or on top of that, caught out by the guy on vent. The dive down to the B site works perfectly. This is their chance. They are not going to get many more moments like that, I don't think. TeamOne have to take what's been given to them with both hands and just slice FURIA in half, but FURIA wastes no time getting into this B bomb site. It's already been compromised. A perfect shot from Maul. Instant kill versus Art. Yuri's going to be lingering outside to catch that secret flank, and everything's gone fantastically for FURIA. Henny double entry once they get on the bomb site. As quickly as the chance came into existence for TeamOne, it evaporates in front of their eyes. They are back into the dire situation that is a 14-6 lead to FURIA's favor, and money near non-existent.
We are into that last chance saloon for TeamOne. They sit at the bar, they order their last drinks, and hopefully they got a bit of energy left in them yet, a bit of life left in them, but it's not looking good. FURIA 14-6 lead. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, Scrawny. For me, Art is the most entertaining player in the world to watch, and for me, FURIA are the most entertaining team to watch in the world. Because they are so aggressive, you never know what to expect. There's never a dull moment with these guys. And all the credit in the world, they've got a great dance partner in TeamOne here. This has been such a fun game to watch.
Hell yeah, man. It takes two to tango. And TeamOne, not quite of the same caliber. Definitely stylistically has made for an awesome matchup, and it's not just done yet. Not done just yet. Maluk on the op. Oh, there it is. And Pesa, he got a kill through the smoke here towards Squeaky Door. They will still have footing downstairs. FURIA, they could just move that bomb along, leaving Henny to lurk outside. Think about how Yuri got a crucial kill on Secret just last round of the post plant that never gave TeamOne the chance to retake. Maluk, oh, he gets caught. He had been watching that cross. Malbs, Deagle on the bomb site, 2 players on the other side. If this site falls too fast, then maybe he never has the helping hand he most certainly needs. He's got a player pinned behind the door. If he swings this open, then Vinny, he's trapped in the corner. Vinny, he's got a bit of a problem up close and personal, but there's Case Dorado to try and bring this one back. They're now both on the bomb site. They just slipped away from the 2-man secret flank. The flash comes down from ramp room. Case Dorado is going to just keep himself pinned in, trying to be the smallest target possible. There's the first kill. Can't transition to the second. This map keeps on giving, and they may have only half of the count of FURIA. They may only have half of the talent, but they sure as hell have the same amount of heart.
No doubt at all. And if you needed any proof of that, just look at that Mirage performance. It's just unbelievable. I'm still kind of in awe of the fact that they won Mirage against FURIA, but they're still in this game. Great post positions from the T's, but ultimately too many players for them to fend off against, and a lot of exquisite work from TeamOne in this round with Deagles, AWPs, M4s, you name it. They're putting it all to use. FURIA dip into their back pocket, pull out the bulk of their life savings. They still have a few pennies here and there, but they are starting to deplete a little bit on that front. TeamOne have some AKs to play with. Plenty of weaponry, but they've lost the first player, and Henny goes in for 2. Typically, the AWP now picks up the AK and just rips through the CTs, taking over the site in the process. Malbs and Maluk left, and they're separated, isolated, and they're being eviscerated. Malbs, the last man standing up in heaven, 10 kills to his name, can't add an 11th, and FURIA now have 8 match points.
Henny, dude, we've talked about this guy. We've talked about how he took over the Brazilian scene with his sniper. And then with this inclusion in FURIA, I feel like this is the best Henny we've ever seen. I mean, when's the last time you saw him just going in with these hard entries? It happens down on that B bomb site 2 rounds ago where he clears off both of the ramp players with insta headshots. Does the exact same thing here through Mini. This is not just a one-dimensional opper. Henny is becoming a star player for FURIA. He slots in so well. And TeamOne, with not tournament life, but the upset on the line, have 8 map and match points, and poor Pesa gets obliterated, but Barton fights back. PRT, close smoke. FURIA, they know they could just try and strong arm their way into this A site. Vinny, he is so good at finding damage through walls and smoke, but this time, not quite. They're able to eject down vent, Vince. They're gonna go for the B plant.
And they should be successful in those endeavors too, because the bulk of the CTs are up on A. They're up on ramp. They need to rotate through. Yuri is watching for this flank on Secret, or they might line up for him, or not. Maluk wide swings with the deagle and takes his head clean off. Henny still perched at the back of the site, hasn't budged an inch since planting it successfully. Now has to try and stave off the onslaught. Vinny, again, right place at the right time. He may never land all the frags, but he is so impactful, and he could be the man that finishes it all off. FURIA slipped and slid out of Mirage, but Nuke ended up being their strongest map of today. Quite surprising, but an excellent performance.
Absolutely. I would like to say excellent performance from both of these teams.
Sure.
TeamOne, not nearly as much in the game on Train or Nuke, but that Mirage performance and conclusion, just to put an end to that win streak of FURIA, is something they have to be happy about. You heard Malds in his interview before the match went live that the win over Cloud9 meant the world to them. Think about what it means to another roster of young, aspiring Brazilian players to take a map off FURIA. This isn't a walking wounded MIBR. This is the best team, arguably, in NA right now, at least the last few months. So huge outcome for them, and they're not eliminated. They're still in this one, but it is FURIA to secure that fast track to the playoffs. We will be back with our analysts after the break. I can't wait to hear what they have to say.
In a series that went the whole 9 yards, FURIA managed to redeem themselves on the decider map of Nuke. 16-7 on the final map, and unfortunately, TeamOne are going to be dropping down into the lower bracket. It will be a rematch for them later this week against Cloud9, but for FURIA, they are heading straight to the semi-finals. And Alex, this was more of the FURIA that we absolutely know and love.
Yeah, this was the live by art, die by art FURIA. That CT side was really characterized by his play. Some absolutely crazy sights towards outside. I don't think I've really ever seen an Opper run through smokes, run to underneath the Twinkie position, and then die or just get a kill on a player on mini. I don't even know how to describe that. That's just ridiculous. Art went crazy this game, 24 and 13 as we see the scoreboard here, 106 ADR, and boy did he get involved every single round. It felt like the few rounds that FURIA lost on that CTE side as well were kind of because of Art getting maybe a little too crazy. But the thing is that even when he did give up those opening picks, FURIA did a really good job adjusting based off of the information that he was feeding the team. You can see that they're very used to that kind of procedure. That Art, I mean, they would love for him to get kills, but even if he dies, they know how to rotate off of that.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to start unpicking this map a little bit more. Christine, from your perspective, what kind of FURIA are doing so well on this Nuke map, the decider map?
That pressure that I was talking about. Nuke, it's so clenchy as that inner player when the smokes are dispersing. You don't know if they've made it down the vent. You don't know if they're lurking. You don't know if they're boosting, and you never know when that connector player is going to pounce on you. But FURIA, they have all of those factors, all of those options moving all at the same time. So certainly that amount of pressure, I don't know when the last time TeamOne felt all of those things happening all at once, but this time around FURIA were absolutely able to capitalize on it.
It was absolutely beautiful to watch, and that sound can only mean one thing. It's of course Vinny joining us after that match. Thank you so much for joining us, Vinny. Congratulations on that win.
Thank you.
It was absolutely awesome to watch. But I want to start off and be really honest here. I know that you always say you don't underestimate your opponents coming into a match, but were you expecting TeamOne to even take a map from you?
We didn't, but we just played like overall really bad on Mirage. Me personally, individually, I would say on Cat, we just gave a lot of middle. So I think that was the problem.
Yeah, and then coming off of that Mirage loss, unfortunately, obviously into Nuke, what were you kind of saying to each other in between that map? Because there must have been, a lot of pressure for you going into it.
I mean, we knew that Nuke was our map. We feel really comfortable playing on there. When we won, we just focused on like winning the ninth round, started CTA because our T side is really good. So just let's the most possible rounds on CT side.
Yeah, I had a question. I've noticed this a lot with when I would consider you guys a tier 1 team and TeamOne a tier 2 team. I notice sometimes when that kind of meshes, or those like a tier 1 versus a tier 2 team, sometimes a tier 2 team will take a map off of a tier 1 team and it's like such a close back and forth, but then the next map comes around and you just demolish them. And I feel like that's a case of what happened here. Why can't tier 1 teams just do that in the middle of the game? Why is it so hard to just bring it together on, say, round 15 or something instead?
I mean, I don't have an answer, because if I had, it would be 2-0. But I think we just become, I think we just become like overconfident on the second map, and we just start making stupid mistakes and not playing correctly. And then in the third map, we just, okay, let's go.
All right.
Okay, Vinny, speaking of stupid mistakes and not playing correctly, let's think back on Mirage. You as that player, because I feel like you're the level-headed player on this FURIA lineup. I feel like a lot of the times you're the last one alive and you're thinking, what the heck happened? My whole team is dead. Sometimes. What do you do when that happens? What are you thinking? Do you ever tell your team anything to get them kind of level-headed with you, or are you just all on board with Art?
I mean, I don't know, we just all worried about it. We don't care, like, if you just being the last one surviving. On Mirage, I was the first one dying, trying to help, so I think I just got fucked in there.
Well, we could obviously see some of your teammates walking behind you as well. Obviously,
yeah.
all playing together in the house. What's the mentality like? What's the morale like for the team at the moment?
Actually, we're playing offs, so we're just doing our best in this season. We just want to be like better than the last one and be like our best possible team until the play on the major.
Oh, that's a big aim for you guys to be going forward there. But I don't put it past you guys, because at the moment, you know, you are the top team in North America, arguably. And coming off that 2019, we were talking about those kind of inconsistent results. But into 2020, what has been the main focus for you? Is it getting all on board with Art's kind of strategy as a team?
I think we're just focusing on our reactions, because the calling is, I mean, it's the same. It's gonna be him, but the way the team like proceeds to like react on the mid situations is the most important part for us.
Well, thank you so much once again for joining us, Vinny. We look forward to seeing you later in the competition, and congratulations again.
Thank you, guys.
I love Vinny's little mascot there. That was absolutely beautiful. You know what? He's always smiling again, even after a tough game, always smiling there, Vinny. But we have talked about, you know, FURIA's strong points, some of their weaknesses as well. But if your team won, going forward, you must be pretty proud of this performance, Alex.
Oh yeah, for sure. Taking a map off of FURIA is that's really good for them. That's going to help bolster their confidence moving forward. They know now that them beating Cloud9 earlier in this bracket probably just wasn't a fluke. They are playing actually some good Counter-Strike, and even though Vinny is kind of maybe even downplaying TeamOne just a little bit by saying that it was maybe FURIA's fault that it became that it went to 3 maps, TeamOne did do some things very well, especially on the individual level. Players like Barton and Malbs really showed up today.
Yeah, you cannot count those players out, especially going forward, because, Christine, we're going to be seeing them dropping into the lower bracket, which is going to be facing Cloud9 again. They've already beaten this team once, so I don't think they're out with a shot of actually making it through.
Yeah, no, this is going to get spicy now. Not only does Cloud9 have an opportunity to make that revenge, but also TeamOne have an opportunity to solidify whatever statement they made in that first series, saying this was not a fluke, we absolutely destroyed you. So that one, I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
Well, it's going to be a sensational day of Counter-Strike. It already has been a sensational day of Counter-Strike, if you ask me. And we've got one more tantalizing dish to be serving up. It's an elimination game, no less, in our final matchup of the day. One team will live to fight another day, and one will be going home. It's all going to be decided right here in a North American derby as ZPG take on Chaos next.